I'm Lola.
And I'm Mamuna. Together, we've a combined 35 years of experience within the tech scene in North America and Europe.
We talk about the highs, the lows, the WTFs of navigating the technology industry and answer your questions about navigating tech careers.
This is Lost in Tech.
I have gossip.
I saw the face. I was like, something good is happening or interesting. I don't know, but I want to hear it.
Well, I mean, it's debatable whether it's good.
Okay.
But in this period where we have spent much time talking about the way the tech industry has reframed itself and all these entitled tech people who are obviously paid too much and layoffs, enter Marcus Zuckerbergius. An eponymous maker of legend, right? Actually, I don't even know if this is like a gossip or not, but word on the street is, and I did try and figure out, is like, has anyone really verified this? And it sounds like law, but it might be real, which is that he is offering AI engineers.
Oh, yes. I've heard of this.
$100 million salaries.
It's Awesome Powers values right there.
Mamuna, do you understand the number?
Mamuna.
Do you understand the number?
I mean, I hear it.
This is the problem.
I hear it.
This is a lot of zeros.
This is a lot
of zeros. And it is that competitive to get really good AI engineers because, you know, there are only so many courses that are well regarded, only so much. And a lot of these folks take time to do PhDs and do research first. And the problem is hard. And so I heard that despite offering this number, people were saying, no, God, if you can do for others, if you can do for others, can you do for me? But on a real, people were saying no. And so he apparently updated the offer to say, okay, and you can take half of that in the first year. And so in the first year, you can have this job and quit on like the 31st day of your 12th month or whatever, and you would have $50 million. You would have earned $50 million, which is just dumb money.
That's dumb money. Dumb money.
I mean, imagine your parents paid for your PhD or you grafted like hell and took every loan you could find. And then you get hired. And in 1 year, what's your ROI? Even at the most prestigious
Your ROI
school.
is generational wealth.
Generational wealth, probably for the next 7-8 generations, realistically speaking, if we talk about compound interest. And if you're smart, now you could obviously waste that like a lot of lottery winners do. But, you know, this is the thing. But it got me thinking that actually people don't understand how these numbers work out. So even like I had a conversation with someone, this idea of here's $100 million package and you can have it in the first year. Exactly. And then you can have 50 of it in the first year. It's like, huh? What does that mean? Because in a lot of places, it's not cash. Your salary is your salary. And also I have had conversations with people who I'm mentoring and they don't really understand tech salary packages and how they're made up. And therefore it's very hard for them to negotiate. They actually end up negotiating against themselves because they're negotiating in the wrong place. So I was like, let us be real talking to people.
Let's do it. Let's talk salary.
So starting with your wisdom, Mamuna.
Yes.
What is the typical construct of a tech package? Let's even call it package because salary is definitely a misnomer. What is a tech package? You have got a job offer. What is coming in that offer?
So different companies have different things, but generally you'll see your cash base, which is your base. You'll have your benefits, which oftentimes now when you think about your package, a lot of times they'll try to, you know, position it as like this is also part of your package. You have what we have called RSUs or options. So
stock,
depending on stock. Depending on the type of company you have, you'll maybe have one of those. And some companies do bonus. Not all companies, but some companies also have bonus. So normally, at a minimum, you have those three items. You'll have RSUs or options or stocks. You'll have your cash, and then you'll have your bonus. And then a mix.
And in Europe, you might also have a pension contribution, which sometimes gets folded into benefits, but sometimes it's different because I think benefits in the US includes things like healthcare and travel allowance and something called lifestyle spending.
Yep.
Whereas in Europe, those things typically don't exist, but they'll do like, hey, if you put 2 or 3% of your salary into a pension, we'll match it up to 8%, right? So you can
401k matching in the US, things like that.
So first of all, the first big way that I think companies pull the wool over people's eyes with these kind of salary packages is people stay at the top number. So like if someone says to you, you know, like especially in the UK, they'll be like, oh, I want to hire you. I'm going to hire you. Like this is a very senior salary to a certain extent, £110,000 a year. And I know the Americans will laugh at that for called a senior salary. But in the UK, that is what is realistic, even in tech. In my last role based out of the UK, I was earning around about that amount. And I felt privileged, right? But if you have a package that is made up of base, stock, benefits, and pension, and the total number is 110, you are being foobarred, right? You're being taken for a ride. Why? Because potentially what's happening is you have now entered the upper tax brackets in the UK, your tax ranges, your minimum allowance starts going down the higher up the salary thing you go. So you actually pay more tax. And there's an interesting thing that happens around £100,000 where actually you might make less money at £105,000 a year than the person who makes £95,000 a year because you have a smaller benefit personal allowance. But also your take home is going to have all of these deductions. So the actual money you get at the end of every month, you're not going to feel that money.
Nope.
And companies love to put these numbers together because what they can do is it sounds great. They get scale of efficiencies on benefits, like they can do a mass purchase or a mass deal. And actually what they offer you the benefit as is not the cost price to them. It's definitely giving them a little bit of room. Things like bonus and stock are completely conditional. So this is the biggest tip that I can give you right now. Your bonus is probably based on your performance, and there are no guarantees of your performance or company performance, which you may or may not directly contribute to or control. And so is your stock. So company has a really bad year. Company decides actually what we want to do is go on a reinvestment program. There is no bonus.
No bonus.
There is no stock payout. They change the nature of the stock and you can't sell your stock or you can't restructure your stock. So what ends up happening is your package has very little to do with what you take home that year. And you are now in a situation where you're in a tax bracket, but your actual cash in your bank account does not fulfill the needs of that tax bracket.
Right.
And I think people sometimes forget about that. And so what I have done successfully in the past, and I think companies are actually willing to do, they will tell you no, but they're willing to do it, is you can do things like, hey, my stock is worth this much. My bonus is worth this much. How about, I'm not going to change the 110,000 package that you want to give me, but I would really like to half the bonus amount and half the stock amount and make them less conditional. And I'll switch them into my base. So my total package is the same. Yes. But I want more of it guaranteed, right? Like my actual cash in the bank every month is a higher amount guaranteed compared to the story you're telling me that may or may not be in my control. And I'm like, everybody needs to get on that train.
Everyone should know that when they get an offer, it is a negotiation. Like first and foremost, it is a negotiation. Yes. You do not have to take. And I think I push most numbers in life like this, right? When someone gives me a number, I will push first because I'm like, that's how I was raised. Like there's always a deal to be had.
Absolutely.
And, and it's like, okay, I see what you're saying. Cool. But this is what I actually want. And I cannot agree more in the bonus. I actually, personally, I feel like bonuses get taxed so high that by the time you get them, it's not really much there. So like you could take the bonus back. It's okay. Put it in my base.
That's kind of fine. Yes.
I want my base. Like just give me the base. And so when they say like, oh, the bonus, and when people freely give out a lot of bonus, I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably going to get like what, 25% of that, because they're not going to give you the full 100% of your bonus. Or maybe
Yeah.
they will, who knows? But you're going to get taxed regardless of whatever it is. And so you're not going to see that whole number. If they say, hey, we're going to give you $50,000 or $30,000 in a bonus, you'll probably see like 10K, 7K.
Well, and also, as we have observed and sometimes participated in, your package offer is made to you as a market model. So like they'll look at your role, your level, the market, and they'll try to pay you as close to market or as little as possible. Like that doesn't mean you don't get a good salary, but like they're trying not to be spending. They're not Zuckerbergius. They're not going crazy. But what then happens when bonuses get paid out is typically bonus periods are company-wide.
Yeah.
And so the business looks at it as a cash expense and they set a budget. I have $100 to spend on bonus for the entire employee corpus. Yeah. So now, even if you're entitled to X amount of bonus, the cash on hand needs to be spread across the employee base. So it's highly unlikely you will ever max out your bonus. There will always be a compromise, no matter your performance level, because the business has a practical issue of how much cash do I have? Now, one tip for that actually, though, is in some companies, you could reposition your bonus as a stock purchase. And companies are usually better at supporting your maximum bonus as a stock purchase than as paying you cash, because it allows them to do things like invest in the company. It gives you more ownership. It proves retention. And the accounting model is different. And that's the crucial thing. The accounting model is they can buy it on paper, but they do not have to make the cash flow available to send it to your bank account.
Yes. And that's easier to swallow.
It's a lot easier to swallow. So these are the tips. Know the breakdown.
Know the breakdown. Be informed when you go in.
Be
I know
informed.
that there's room to have a conversation. Don't feel like you're given a number.
Always. And then think about the implications for you in your tax zone. So as I said, I know people, the top number might be nice for when you apply for a mortgage and you want to max out the amount you can borrow.
Sure.
But if you live in a country like the UK, where the tax implications of being between a certain income bracket are honestly punitive, you might want a slightly lower salary. You might want a slightly smaller package, because it doesn't make that much of a difference in what you get to take home, but it makes a huge difference to your tax implications overall.
Yeah.
And be informed about how you can play with that. Like, can you ask for a bonus in stock? Can you, what control do you have over the stock to make sure that you feel like you are safe?
If you know an advisor, if you happen to know like a tax attorney or someone, it might make sense to do like a quick 15-minute consultation to just with you could go to them with scenarios like, hey, I'm thinking about these 3 scenarios. What are the implications of these scenarios? How much can I walk away with to get the maximum out of these scenarios? And that might just set you up for like however long you plan on staying there. You probably are set up in a better place, which is nice.
Yeah. There are 2 final tips that I want to give people. Don't forget your student loan repayments.
Well,
I have seen people be gassed, maximally gassed. Look how much money I did the thing. I am going in, and they start planning for money like it's like YOLO money. And then the first salary comes, and they did not realize their student loan repayment was going to go up proportionately with their new income. And again, it's another scenario where people find themselves poorer than they were.
Yes.
And I'm like, I have been in that position, and it hurt. It hurt so much. And then the final tip is the best time to negotiate your salaries on the way in, because when you're already there, prof.
Don't sign it. Don't sign it until you've negotiated.
Yeah. Once you're in, your salary growth is probably at best pegged to inflation, maybe linked to promotions, but it is not going to be as atmospheric as you would like it to be.
No.
But the company might sell you that. They might sell you that dream. They might give you that potential. And I think one of the reasons people were probably turning down $100 million salary is because it did require them to stay in the company for 10 years and sign in blood, and 80% of it with only in conditional stock and all of that stuff. And it was just this isn't real money, dude. This is play money. Hence why he had to come back and offer them, okay, I'll give you a guarantee that you will take away 50 of it in the first year. Because those things are real, the traps are real.
Let's see what happens. I will now, maybe we'll find some actual people who've gone through this to attach to the show notes.
Yes, please. And folks, give us your tips if you have other tips for how to help people with salary negotiations. Did you just get a job in 2025? Talk to us about that. What does it look like to deal with a recruiter and get into that negotiation space? And I think we have great European and American experience, but honestly, I don't know how this works on the African continent.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it works in Asia. Yeah, it'd be super fascinating to see if the lessons apply.
Yes. Share your tips, tricks, and all of the above.
But yes, people, then like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Click a button somewhere.
Keep following us, please. We've made this show for you, and we want to hear your stories. We have our combined 35 years experience in tech. We have an incredible bank of experts to call on. We are your safe space. So send us your tech challenges and we'll help you create some draft decisions through some real talk.
You've been listening to me, Mamuna and Lola.
And me, Olayo Pearson.
Edited and produced by me, Michael Blissa, with theme music by 031 Mash.
Email us at help@lostintechpodcast.com or DM us at lostintechpod.